Look, folks, you know that the globalists are making their final push for total control. CBDCs are already rolling out, which is a total control mechanism. Complete medical tyranny is at the ready, with the next pandemic poised to give the World Health Organization supreme control over your life and even your national constitution. Digital ID will be the new hall pass to move about and enter stores and facilities. And, well, let's just call it what it is. The system, with its combined features, is, in fact, the mark of the beast. It's here. You have got to make the necessary preparations to survive outside the matrix, and it has to be now. The World Health Organization is currently combining previously issued documents with 300 amendments and combining them all into one single document, which will effectively be the new governing document for all nations. And yes, it will supersede your national constitution or charter.
And it's all countries, folks, that have signed on to it. Another thing that they're doing as well, which we predicted they were going to do, they're merging all of the COVID guidelines and the lockdown guidelines and thinking that these will be very good for dealing with climate change, which we told you they were going to do. And they are also implementing the climate change objectives, all this zero carbon policy. They intend to merge it with national constitutions, and they're going to be doing that 1 year from now. All national constitutions are going to be merged with the climate change directives. So this is effectively going to give the World Health Organization, the WEF, the UN, legal control of all of our countries.
They plan that next year, 1 year from now, they will merge the pandemic treaty and the 300 amendments. They will be synchronized with each other, synthesized with each other, and they will be essentially one document, and they will pass next year. So they're planning to make sure they get all the kinks out and they're good to go, because they plan to go all in and vote next year. But what the United States delegate, what our delegate said here this afternoon, is that the United States is all in and fully on board with these 300 amendments as currently written, and anybody can access them at the World Health Organization website. But also they're all in on the Global Pandemic Treaty. So the United States is for this. All the nations of the world who spoke today, they're all for it. There isn't one that's dissented. So unless we intervene, this is a done deal 1 year from today, and that's when we have an existential threat to our sovereignty, and we will lose it 1 year from today. But there is time for intervention. So as I mentioned to you yesterday, Steve, there aren't any members of the House of Representatives here. There isn't the United States Press Corps. There's an absence. There's no member of the United States Senate. For heaven's sakes, you would think that they would call these documents in to the Senate and to the House to review them. They need to do that soberly. They've got to review all of this.
Yeah, that's the plan, folks. And when I say legal control of all of our countries, and how legal is the system? It may be legal control, but it's not lawful control. The politicians have no right to be doing what they're doing, folks, but they're certainly doing it. And they're certainly rolling things out full steam ahead in every direction that they can.
There is a way to beat this, but it takes bold action, and you have to get moving now. You need at least 3 things to get on track to survive this onslaught against humanity. Number 1, you need to know the law and be prepared to be able to hold your ground vis-a-vis the law. You can do this with free training available at the website of the National Action Task Force. Number 2, you absolutely must be free from employment with any state-registered corporation in terms of cash flow. You must have independent sources of passive cash flow. You can do this with the NATF Business Club. This is a must. Number 3, then with all the information floating around out there, it's too easy to get confused, get your head spinning, and you want to just give up. It happens all the time, it's natural. This is why you need personalized coaching and direction. You'll get this in the NATF Fireside Chats. This is the bare minimum if you want to have any hope to evade the noose around your neck when things start rolling out in the short months ahead. Take just a minute to jot down these web addresses for the resources we just discussed. In the Business Club, you're going to learn about private banking and banking alternatives. Surely you know about all the options of buying and holding gold. Everyone's talking about it. Question: if you have a pile of gold sitting somewhere, how do you use it? To buy groceries, or gas, or travel to your bug out location? In the NATF Business Club, you're going to learn how to be able to spend your gold stash when you need to with a debit card. The other thing is that gold is a great way to preserve the value of your savings, if your savings is now in a fiat dollar denominated investment vehicle. But how does it grow? It doesn't. You need assets in a vehicle that will grow faster than your living expenses. You'll learn about that in the NATF Business Club. Now, how do we escape the control mechanisms of the CBDCs? We found a cryptocurrency that's better than Bitcoin. This crypto has everything Bitcoin would like to be, but isn't. It's private, it can't be confiscated, it's truly peer-to-peer, decentralized, scarce, fungible, scalable, permissionless, trustless, censorship-free, and best of all, surveillance-proof. With this crypto, I can privately send money to anyone I like, anywhere, anytime, for any amount, in less than a minute, for under a penny. No questions asked, no banking approvals or reporting or tracing. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can stop my transactions or confiscate my money. This is truly unfettered financial freedom for the masses. Privacy-oriented crypto is the key to outmaneuver big government, tyranny, and surveillance. Look at what's happening in New York City. They're monitoring your purchases of beef and dairy products with the idea of rationing, mainly, so the story goes, because of cow farts affecting climate change. Of course, that's completely bullcrap. It's all about total control. Mayor Eric Adams announced back in April that food surveillance and rationing are coming to New York City. The rationing seeks to reduce the city's carbon emissions by 33% come 2030. With CBDCs, they can also limit your gasoline purchases or purchases outside of the allowable travel limit for your digital ID profile. We also see the European Parliament drafted a report suggesting that crypto be regulated and taxed. The January 16th report argued that regulating and taxing crypto at the entire European Union level is more efficient than doing it nationally due to the EU's high mobility and cross-border dimension. We see the same discussions coming from the Fed and the U.S. Congress. They can't stand competition and will do everything to shut it down. Of course, they can't shut down decentralized finance. It's impossible. But what they can shut down are the on-ramps and the off-ramps where you buy, sell, and exchange your crypto, which are the big exchanges like Coinbase, Binance USA, and others. But again, they can only influence those that are operating within their jurisdiction. Centralized exchanges can also be ordered to block specific wallet IDs, which are on that exchange. When you have private peer-to-peer transfers, like this crypto we're talking about, control becomes impossible. Governments cannot surveil crypto if there is privacy in place. Attacks on privacy are nothing more than a mechanism of control exerted behind a plethora of excuses. Keeping your own earnings and converting them into crypto coins such as this one makes those earnings vanish from the surveillance network of big government and big banks. We must also note how governments have proven their willingness to weaponize financial systems against the people and entities they do not like. Look at our friends in Canada and the USA, who had their accounts locked down and frozen simply because they donated to a freedom-oriented cause, like the Freedom Truck Convoy. This is not what a free country looks like, folks. It's not what a free country does. This is communism, and it's everywhere. We all need to learn about these things and have the proper tools in place to keep our freedom. If not, you'd better be thinking about what you're going to tell your family as to why you didn't prepare and why they have to eat in a FEMA camp. Go here now and get involved. Here's to your freedom.